He had everything: wealth, power, love. But on the night before his wedding, the woman he trusted most drugged him, stole his empire, and ordered his death. Now broken, haunted, and hiding in the streets, he meets a homeless girl who will change his life forever. This is the story of a billionaire who lost everything and the girl who healed him. If you are new here, I hope you subscribe by the end of this video. The wedding of Kweku was supposed to be the event of the year. Son of a wealthy Ghanaian family, a self-made billionaire in his early 30s, he had everything the world thought mattered: power, luxury cars, real estate across continents, and the love of a woman he believed was his forever. Her name was Sonia, beautiful, ambitious, admired by many. Together, they were the perfect couple, the kind you saw in glossy magazines and on television interviews. For years, people had followed their romance, like a fairy tale unfolding in real life. The wedding day arrived with glamour. Golden drapes hung in the reception hall. Celebrity musicians were booked, and the guest list read like the who's who of West African business elites. But just hours before he was to stand at the altar, something happened that no one saw coming. The night before the wedding, Sonia had insisted on spending one last quiet evening with Kweku, just the two of them. They drank wine in his private penthouse, laughing, talking about their future. She kissed him softly and whispered, "No matter what happens, remember, I loved you once." The words felt strange, but Kweku, lost in her beauty, didn't think much of it. Moments later, his vision blurred. His head grew heavy. Within minutes, he collapsed into unconsciousness. The next morning, Kweku woke up to chaos. His phone buzzed non-stop, dozens of missed calls, angry messages from family. When he finally stood, his world crumbled. Sonia was gone. The wedding hall was filled with confused guests, and the news was already on all social media platforms. Billionaire Kweku dumped at the altar. Perfect couple, it was all a lie. But that wasn't the real betrayal. Later that day, his lawyer revealed the nightmare. While he was unconscious, Sonia had used his fingerprint to sign documents, transferring key assets of his empire into the control of another man. A man she had secretly been in love with for months. The betrayal spread like wildfire. Investors pulled out. The stock price of his company plummeted. His board of directors questioned his judgment. In the eyes of the world, he wasn't just a man who had lost his fiancée. He was a fool. The media branded him the billionaire who could not buy love. Paparazzi camped in front of his gates, feeding on his downfall. And Sonia, she appeared days later on a private yacht with her new lover, smiling, glowing, untouchable. Kweku's life unraveled quickly. He drowned himself in alcohol, picked fights with friends, and pushed away anyone who tried to help. But one night, when he thought he couldn't get worse, it did. Driving back from a bar in East Legon, he stopped at a traffic light. A man appeared out of nowhere and pointed a gun at him. "Get out," the man ordered coldly. Kweku's heart pounded. He raised his hand, stepping out slowly. The man pressed the barrel to his chest. "You're supposed to stay out of her way," the man whispered. Kweku froze. "Her?" The man smirked. "Sonia sends her regards." The shot rang out. The bullet missed his heart by inches, tearing to his shoulder. Kweku collapsed onto the street, blood pooling around him as the gunman vanished into the night. Sirens wailed in the distance. Strangers screamed. But in that haze of pain, one truth hit him harder than the bullets. This was not heartbreak anymore. This was war. The bullets didn't kill him, but it killed the life he once knew. Kweku woke up in the hospital bed, his shoulder wrapped in bandages. The smell of disinfectant thick in the air. Cameras were already outside the hospital, waiting like vultures. His family stood at a distance, whispering, embarrassed by the scandal he had become. The doctors told him he was lucky to be alive, but luck was a word he no longer believed in. News of the shooting spread everywhere. Some called it a robbery gone wrong. Others whispered it was a revenge from a rival businessman. But Kweku knew the truth. The gunman's voice haunted him. Sonia sends her regards. The woman he has once planned to build a family with. The woman who shared his secrets, his bed, his empire, wanted him dead. As he recovered, he expected at least one friend or colleague to stand by him. Instead, his board forced him to resign. Shareholders voted him out. His accounts were frozen, pending fraud investigations started by Sonia's new partner. The empire he had built brick by brick slipped from his hands overnight, and the world celebrated his downfall. Headlines screamed, "From king to pauper, billionaire Kweku now powerless, the betrayed groom now a broken man." Even his relatives turned on him. They blamed him for bringing shame to the family name. One uncle even spat at him in the hospital corridor. "You think money will make you untouchable, don't you? Look at you now. Nothing but a disgrace." Kweku realized something terrifying. He wasn't just ruined, he was still being hunted. One evening, he left the hospital against medical advice. A black SUV trailed him. He ducked into alleyways, his heart racing, until he managed to escape. That night, he made a decision. He would disappear before they finished what they started. For the first time in his life, the billionaire walked into the street of Accra with nothing but a cloth on his back. No cards, no cars, no guards, no name. Just a broken man running from death. On the third night of wandering the streets, he collapsed. Hunger clawed his stomach. His wound reopened. He fell onto the dirty ground near an abandoned bus terminal, shivering from fever. People walked past him. No one cared. No one recognized him. Until one girl stopped. She was barefoot, her clothes worn and torn, her eyes sharp but kind. She carried a small plastic bag of bread she had begged for earlier that day. Her name was Amma. She knelt beside him, shaking his shoulders. "Hey, you are burning up. You'll die if you stay here." Kweku's vision blurred. He muttered weakly, "Leave me." But Amma refused. She tore a piece of her bread, placed it in his hands, and whispered, "If you want to die, die tomorrow. Tonight, eat." She dragged him to the old bus she called home, covered him with thin blankets, and nursed his wound with water and scrap of clothes. As Kweku drifted into uneasy sleep, Amma searched his jacket for anything useful, maybe some coins. Instead, she froze. There, tucked inside her hidden pocket, was his ID card. Her eyes widened as she whispered his name aloud. "Kweku Mensah, the billionaire?" She turned to look at the broken man sleeping on the floor. How could someone, once so powerful, be lying in her world of dust and hunger? That night, Amma sat in silence watching him. She knew two things for sure. One, this man was in danger. And two, helping him could put her life at risk. But something in her heart wouldn't let her walk away. She didn't know it yet, that by saving him, she had just stepped in a wall far bigger than the streets she called home. The first night, Amma kept watch over him. She barely slept. Every few minutes, she looked at the billionaire sleeping on the cold floor of the abandoned bus, sweating through fever. His once polished face, now covered in stubble, his expensive suit torn and dirty, his hands gripping the blankets as if it were the last thread holding him to life. She couldn't believe it. This was the same man she had seen in magazines, smiling on business covers, standing beside ministers and presidents. But here, he was no different from her, just another broken soul hiding from the world. By morning, Kweku stared, his eyes fluttered open. Confused, weak, he tried to stand, but collapsed back down groaning. Amma pressed a piece of stale bread into his hand. "Eat, you need strength." He looked at her with suspicion. "Why are you helping me? What do you want?" Amma laughed bitterly. "What could I possibly want? I live in a broken bus, remember?" For the first time in days, a faint smile tugged at Kweku's lips. Over the next few days, Amma nursed him back to health. She fetched water, begged for food, and even sold some of her old clothes in the market just to buy him medicine. In the quiet hours, she shared her own story. She had once been a brilliant medical student, the pride of her family. But when her uncle, the man entrusted with her scholarship, stole everything, she was forced to drop out. With no money and nowhere to go, she ended up on the streets, learning to survive day by day. "I thought my life was over," Amma whispered one night. "But then I realized, sometimes losing everything is how you find out who you really are." Kweku listened in silence. Her words cut deep, because that was exactly where he found himself. Days turned into weeks. "Kweku, Once a man who could not survive without drivers, chefs, security guards, now walked barefoot through the market with armor. He learned how to bargain for food, how to hide from the city guards, how to share one loaf of bread between two empty stomachs. For the first time, he saw the world through her eyes, raw, painful, but strangely beautiful. Amma teased him constantly. So, billionaire, do you know how to light a fire? Or are you waiting for your servants to do it? Kweku laughed, shaking his head. Teach me then. You are the boss here. Slowly, an unlikely friendship blossomed, and beneath it, something deeper began to stir. Something neither of them dared to name. But peace never lasts. One evening, while Amma was out searching for food, she overheard two men whispering near the market. The boss say he dey alive, but he make weak. He dey for street for this Accra. We for finish am before he go talk. Amma froze. She knew exactly who they were talking about. Her heart pounded as she ran back to the abandoned bus. She burst through the door breathless. Kweku, we need to leave now. He looked up, startled. What happened? Amma's voice trembled, but her eyes were fierce. They are hunting you, and if they find you here, they will kill us both. The silence that followed was heavy. Kweku finally understood. His fight wasn't over. It had only just begun. To be continued in part 2. Don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know where you are watching from.